Good morning, ma'am. I'm Angelica Soso, and this is my video report about the teacher and the school curriculum. Historical foundations. It shows to us the chronological development along a timeline. According to Franklin Babbitt started the curriculum development movement. Curriculum as a science that emphasizes on students' needs. The curriculum prepares learners for adult life, and objectives and activities grouped together when tasks are clarified. Next is Wellred Charters. Like Babbitt, curriculum is a science and emphasizes students' needs. Objectives and activities should match. Subject matter or content relates to objectives. According to William Kilpatrick, curricula are purposeful activities which are child-centered. The purpose of the curriculum is child development and growth. The project method was introduced by Kilpatrick, where teacher and student plan the activities. The curriculum develops social relationships and small group instruction. According to Harold Rugg, the Rugg curriculum should develop the whole child. It is child-centered. With a statement of objectives and related learning activities, curriculum should produce outcomes. Harold Rugg emphasized social studies and the teachers plans curriculum in advance. According to Hollis Caswell, he sees curriculum as organized around social functions of teams, organized knowledge, and learners' interest. Caswell believes that curriculum, instruction, and learning are interrelated. Curriculum is a set of experience. Subject matter is developed around social functions and learners' interests. To Ralph Tyler, he is one of hallmarks of curriculum. Tyler believes that curriculum is a science and an extension of school's philosophy. It is based on students' needs and interests. To Tyler, curriculum is always related to instruction. Subject matter is organized in terms of knowledge, skills, and values. The process emphasizes problem solving. The curriculum aims to educate generalists and not specialists. To Hilda Taba, she contributed to the theoretical and pedagogical foundations of concept development and critical thinking in social studies curriculum. She helped to lay the foundation of the diverse student population. And also Peter Oliva described how curriculum change is a cooperative endeavor. Teachers and curriculum specialists constitute the professional core of planners. Significant improvement through group activity. And next, the psychological foundation of the teacher and school curriculum. First, Ivan Pavlov. He is the famous Russian psychologist, introduced the theory of classical conditioning through a series of experiments with dogs. Based on the law of association proposed by Greek philosophers such as Aristotle, he showed that organism can associate a particular stimulus with a particular response. Learning is the result of an association formed between. Edward Thorndike. Edward Thorndike defined learning as a habit formation. He proposed 3 laws which are called law of effect, law of exercise, law of readiness. In law of effect, it is a response followed by pleasurable or rewarding experience. The response will be strengthened and become habitual. Law of exercise. It is the connections between stimulus and response that strengthen with practice and when practice is discontinued. Law of readiness. It is a certain behaviors and more likely to be learned than others because the nervous system of the organism is ready to make the connection leading to a satisfying state of affairs. And Robert Gagne. Gagne's hierarchy of learning notes the transition from behaviorism to cognitive psychology. The hierarchy of learning is an arrangement of 8 behaviors, ranging from simple to complex. He also describes five observable and measurable learning outcomes, and it is the 8th hierarchy of learning by Gagné. First, learning, classical conditioning, response to a signal. And second, stimulus response, it is operant conditioning, response to given stimulus. Third, motor change, it is linking two or more stimulus response connections to form more complex skill. And fourth, verbal association, it is linking two or more words or ideas. Fifth, multiple discriminations, responding in different ways to different items in a set. Sixth, concepts, it is reacting to stimuli in an abstract way. Seventh, it is rules, the rules chaining two or more stimulus situations or concepts. And eighth, problem solving, combining known rules, principles to solve a problem. And next, Jean Piaget. He is a Swiss psychologist. The American noticed in the 50s and 60s. The text reminds that his theories are not fact and should be taken as suggestive influence, according to Tyler, Taba, Brunner, and Kohlberg and Minmore. And Lev Vygotsky, he is a Russian psychologist. Theory of socio-cultural development. A culture requires skilled tool use, first language, art, or counting systems. Howard Gardner is a psychologist and professor at Harvard University and defined the first 7 intelligences in frames of mind in 1983. He added the last 2 intelligence framed in 1999. It is the Gardner's multiple intelligences. First, verbal linguistic intelligence. It is well-developed verbal skills and sensitivity to the sounds, meanings, and rhythms of words. Second, logical mathematical intelligence. It is ability to think conceptually and abstractly, and capacity to discern logical and numerical patterns. Third, spatial visual intelligence is capacity to think in images and pictures to visualize accurately and abstractly. And fourth, bodily kinesthetic intelligence. It is ability to control one's body movements and to handle objects skillfully. And fifth, musical intelligences. It is ability to produce and appreciate rhythm, pitch, and timbre. Sixth, personal intelligence. It is capacity to detect and respond appropriately to the moods, motivations, and desires of others. And seventh, intrapersonal. It is capacity to be self-aware and in tune with inner feelings, values, beliefs, and thinking processes. And naturalist intelligence, it is ability to recognize and categorize plants, animals, and other objects in nature. And lastly, existential intelligence. It is sensitivity and capacity to tackle deep questions about human existence, such as what is the meaning of life? Why do we die? How did we get here? Daniel Goleman. Daniel Goleman is the author of the best-selling Emotional Intelligence, as well as many other works, Emotional and Social Intelligence, Leadership and Education. He is a psychologist, former science journalist for the New York Times, and co-director of the Consortium for Research on Intelligence in Organizations. He has 5 components of emotional intelligence. First, emotional self-awareness. Second, self-regulation. Third, motivation. And fourth, empathy. Fifth, social skills. And the first, emotional self-awareness, knowing what's the one feelings at any given time and understanding the impact those moods have on others. Self-regulation, It is controlling or directing one's emotions, anticipating consequences before acting on impulse. Third, motivation. Utilizing emotional factors to achieve goals, enjoy the learning process, and persevere in the face the obstacles. Empathy. It is sensing the emotions of others. And lastly, social skills. Managing relationships, inspiring others, and inducing desired responses from them. And Gestalt. He is a humanistic methods of psychotherapy that taking a holistic approach to human experience by stressing individual responsibility and awareness of present psychological and physical needs. Abraham Maslow, he considered to be the father of humanistic psychology, developed a hierarchy of needs to explain human motivation, and his theory suggested that people have a number of basic needs that must be met before people move up the hierarchy to pursue more social, emotional, and self-actualizing needs. Carl Rogers is one of the founders of humanistic psychology. He developed the person-centered, also known as client-centered, approach to psychotherapy and developed the concept of unconditional positive regard while pioneering the field of clinical psychological research. Emil Durkheim was to help define and establish the field of sociology as an academic discipline. Durkheim distinguished sociology from philosophy, psychology, economics, and other social science disciplines by arguing that society was an entity of its own. Alvin Toffler. He is an American writer, futurist, and businessman known for his works discussing modern technologies. And he wrote the book of Future Shock, believed that knowledge should prepare students for the future. Parents might have these resources to teach prescribed curriculum from home as a result of technology, not in spite of it, or homeschooling. He forces schools and students work creatively. According to Paulo Freire, an educator known for his radical ideas that sought to deconstruct the passive, often oppressive nature of schooling. He is best known for his book, Pedagogy of the Oppressed. Freire believed that education was a means to building a critical consciousness that would enable people to create change in their lives. John Goodland. He is the president of the Institute of Educational Inquiry and a co-founder of the Center of Educational Renewal and Activity of Washington. Goodland's purpose in curriculum are: curriculum should be organized around the needs of society and students. Second, curriculum should have a wide range of purposes including cognitive, social, civic, vocational, aesthetic, and moral. Third, realistic reform policies and programs should enacted. And William Pinar, he is American pedagogue known for his work in the area of curriculum theory. Pinar is strongly associated with the reconceptualist movement and curriculum theory. Curriculum is invoked to provide an autobiographical method for self-study, enabling both individuals and groups to understand teaching as passionate participation in the complicated conversation. So thank you. That's all